Estás escuchando Radio Primavera Sound, proudly presented by Cupra.
Seguimos aquí haciendo entrevistas en el Parque del Forum dentro del Primavera Sound 2025. We're still here doing interviews and we have plenty to go. It is my pleasure to interview one of my favorite recent bands that I discovered about a year ago or 2 years ago now, I think. Ben Stellar, all the way from New York. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And I've been pleasantly surprised that one of you habla muy bien español.
No. No, entiendo casi todo, pero no hablo muy bien. Yeah. No. I have an accent, like weird American accent.
But
yeah.
But do you speak Spanish with your family?
No,
at all?
it's like
Yeah,
they
you
speak
do a bit.
a little bit. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been carrying the team as far as us being here. So.
But I'm finding it difficult to speak to like the sound technicians because I know like basic Spanish, but all the technical stuff about I'm learning a lot. Yeah.
Sí. And are you a passionate Boca or
No,
River?
River. Yeah.
Okay, no, Argentinian fathers. I have an Argentinian. Was it when it's the father of your wife? It's the stepfather. No?
Father-in-law.
Father-in-law. No, it's suegro. We say in Spanish.
I hope not.
So I know. Anyway, but we're not here to talk about Argentinian football or Maradona or any of that kind of stuff. We're here to talk about you. Is this your first time in Barcelona playing?
Yes. Yeah. Last night was our first show ever played in Barcelona.
What expectations did you have before coming here? Had you heard about this festival? Was it on your bucket list?
Yeah, for sure. I've always just heard the lineup is really cool, and I feel like I've seen videos of bands that we like playing here before. So the expectations were high. We were a little nervous because we played the same time as Charlie XCX, but we were pleasantly surprised. People actually came to see us. So, yeah, it was a great time.
Yep.
And it was a late slot. You played at about 2 a.m. Are you used to playing that late?
No, I feel like the last time we've played that late at South by Southwest a couple years ago, we played a show then. But yeah, no. Sam here is kind of he doesn't like to stay up late. He's a morning guy, so we had to rally him.
Because when you play late, that means that you've got to be on your best behavior to be able to perform at your full capacity. So it means that it sucks kind of being at a festival and having to behave in a way.
Yeah, I took a nap on the grass over there.
Oh, nice.
So.
Yeah. It's pleasant, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
With all the music and all the sounds and people stepping over you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about everything. I mean, obviously, it's hard not to speak about New York because it's the place where you live. It's the place where the band kind of took shape, right? First of all, how do you, that you're so young, channel a sound that was incredibly popular in the mid-2000s, which I was totally in love with. I was in love with bands, and I still am, like Interpol, Yeahs and stuff. How old were you guys when that was happening?
I was when that stuff was happening, I was like 2. Gigi wasn't alive yet.
I was not born.
But I don't know. It was kind of like... I don't know how we got into it. I think just
we were into it in high school.
Yeah, I think when you grow up in the States and you like playing with guitars, you'll kind of start to listen to the Strokes when you're like 13.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that was like a lot of it at first. Then I think like once you kind of get to New York, like we did, and start making music, you realize that all of those bands were pulling from a bunch of different bands, and it's kind of like an infinite regression thing. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think there's only so many American bands, so like all roads kind of lead to one direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was such an exciting period, that decade.
The band.
Yeah, One Direction.
The 2000s was an exciting period because obviously so many bands were coming out of New York City, and it was a city that was friendly to artists, which had no budgets. It's not like bands were cashing in from the get-go. You could find rehearsal spaces. There was lots of independent venues. Have things changed radically now? Is it hard to exist as a band when you're trying to make it?
It's a very hard place to live. We've been pretty lucky recently with Touring as much as we've been and being supported a bit by our label, we've been able to focus more full time on music. But that's an extremely new aspect of our life, and not one that I think will last forever necessarily. And we're all used to working several jobs just to be able to pay rent and like food and stuff. And we fell into a rent stabilized apartment through another band that was in Brooklyn and passed it down to us. So, but the venue scene has changed quite a bit. When we first moved to New York, there was still like a cool DIY space called The Glove and The Grove, and there were like spaces where people were doing cool things, but that changed a lot, especially with the pandemic. It's like extremely different. I think there's still like a lot of really great stuff going on, but it's not like an easy place to do it necessarily. Yeah,
it's gotten a lot better though. I think like when we first moved there, everything was expensive, but there really wasn't any sort of community of musicians in the way like you'd expect, New York to be. But in the past, like especially in the past, like post-pandemic, it's gotten really exciting again, and there's a lot of people doing a lot of really interesting things, and it doesn't like, it's a lot different, I feel like, than like a city like London, like where we've seen like it's kind of one band will become popular and then like a lot of bands will do that thing. In New York, it's very much like everyone has their own thing. There's like a bunch of like different teams, which is really cool. It doesn't like, people aren't really too concerned with, being the flavor of the month. People just like making music. So yeah.
And well, one thing that also it's inevitable to compare you to bands like Interpol or The Strokes, who were bands from New York but that found success first in the United Kingdom and decided to go there and tour and build a following there. And you guys did something similar by hiring Dan Carey, of all people, who's an incredibly gifted producer, who's like responsible for producing the first albums of Black Country New Roads, Squid, Black Midi, bands that are all here playing. Nearly all of them are playing this year as well. Why did you choose Dan Carey?
I think we were all just a fan of his work, especially with like the first few Fontaines records. And we just did I started watching a lot of videos on him and the way he works, and it was already, the way he records is already just like very similar to how we write, and kind of wanted to record the idea of like all playing at all together, like all live takes, and like just trying to capture the energy of the room is like something that we really cared about, because at least for me there's always been this like misbalance of like something sounding great on a record and then horrible live, or vice versa. And we just wanted to, when like a band would be great live and it just like wouldn't be it wouldn't be mirrored on the record, so we wanted to capture that. But yeah, the UK, you mentioned like us like starting out kind of in the UK, even though we're an American band, so I just wanted to shout out this label and magazine So Young, because that was like a big process of how we kind of got started in the UK, which helped us get back into start getting the ball rolling in the US.
Yeah.
Can they hear this outside on the speakers?
Oh yeah.
I was wondering about that.
The speakers are outside.
Hello.
Everyone's like, these are all people. I think they're trying to get a good spot for Sabrina Carpenter, who's playing way later, but still, the main stages down there are they attract this kind of devotion. You were mentioning, that the phenomenon of bands rarely get to sound the same on album as they do live. Like some bands are totally amazing live, but on record maybe it's a music that's too intense for playing in the car or whatever, or vice versa. No? What kind of steps have you figured out you can take to guarantee that you always have like an amazing live sounding show?
It's really difficult. I mean, especially we're not a big enough band to have like our own sound person yet, so we've never had that luxury. A lot of it comes from just a lot of practice, like dialing in guitar tones and pedals and things like that, and being very like thorough during soundcheck with what time you have. It's difficult though, because at the end of the day, it's not up to you, and you kind of have to like accept that it's not going to sound, perfect. But it's a lot of patience, and yeah, and just adapting too. Like sometimes you'll play a show and your monitor mix, you can't hear anything, and you just have to take a deep breath and just listen to the drums. That's kind of the end game. You just have to like stay in time and just hope that it doesn't sound absolutely terrible in the house. So
yeah, because there's a little bit of a shoegazy aspect to some of your songs and stuff, and obviously I'm a lover of shoegaze, and it might seem like it's easy just depending on some pedals and things, but it can't always. Sometimes you come to a festival, sometimes you don't have plenty of time for a sound check and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the cool thing, though, to be honest with you, about live music is I really don't always want it to sound perfect. I think it's cool when a band will play and it's not like, everything's in the box and everyone's using Kempers and everything. I think like that's the one cool thing about being in a band and playing guitar music is kind of like the chaos and like the unpredictability of it. I think like, I don't know, I'll see a lot of bands who it doesn't necessarily sound good, but like the rawness and the mistakes and all of that, it's one of my favorite things, you connect with it more, I think.
Tell me about inputs that affect your songwriting. What are your favorite kind of sources of inspiration?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's changed a lot. Yeah, I mean, definitely like when we started out, like all those bands you mentioned, like Interpol and The Strokes were definitely like a big thing for us. I think as time has gone on, though, I mean, we've kind of realized our thing, even like separate from shoegaze and everything like that, is just like really, really good pop songwriting. I think is kind of like the main MO, like I don't know, like Lou Reed and Velvet Underground stuff and Bob Dylan and all of that and Elliott Smith. Like at the end of the day, that will kind of be the main. Like when I'm working on a song, I'm thinking like, what would those guys do? Yeah. Then like after all of that, maybe you start thinking about if it sounds, how the guitars sound and if it sounds like shoegazy or punky or whatever. But yeah, I don't know if you guys have any.
I think just like outside of musical influences, like day to day, just trying to kind of like live life through more of a poetic lens where you're just thinking, just like everything you're experiencing you can write about, and so anything that pops in your head, it's like finding a way to just like keep track of that in your own way, like whether it's in your phone or if you have like a notepad or something. And right now I haven't been very good at it. I feel like they kind of end up being separate processes, is like working on the music aspect of it and then working on the lyrics. So just trying to, actually I've been thinking a lot recently how I need to kind of crack that part of my head open again. But yeah, that's kind of how we do that influence-wise.
Uh-huh. One of the beautiful things about playing Primavera Sound, you get invited to play it, and all of a sudden when you're already booked and stuff, you get a second phone call from the manager saying, oh, by the way, they're offering you a second slot, which has been your case. All of a sudden you're playing another gig tonight in the Warehouse, which is a tiny little space. Have you seen it?
Yeah, we were just there. We just sound checked.
Yeah, what do you think? How's that going to feel? Is that going to be totally different from last night's show?
Yeah, definitely. I'm really excited for it. It was like the best sound check I've had in so long. Like everything sounded great in the ears, and I'm excited to see the room like hopefully full. Oh, my friends are out there. Hey guys, yeah, they're gonna come to the
I remember
the warehouse, the warehouse or the 501 Club show.
Yeah, the 501 Club.
Because they went to Charlie last night, so so they're gonna come see us.
But it feels more like that's more what we're used to. It's like a little dingy room. So no offense, it's not a bad thing. Dingy in a good way, but we know how to do that. So I'm excited to play it. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to leave early because I had to wake up today, and it's like, oh well. I have a second chance to watch you. I'm gonna see you at the Warehouse, and I was worried that more people would think like that, and no one would go to your show last night. Thank God that didn't happen. Everyone was there.
Yeah, that's what I expected.
Not everyone wanted to continue Brat Summer, shall we say? Speaking of other artists on the lineup who are kind of related to you in a certain way, you mentioned Fontaines DC, who you toured with. What memories do you cherish from spending time with those guys on the road? And have you had a chance to maybe run into them? I don't know if they're here yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen them yet this weekend. We're playing a couple shows with them in France in a couple of days, so we'll catch up with them again. But yeah, man, a lot of really good memories. They're really, really nice guys. I think the biggest thing is just like they operate so well while still being completely like raw. Like they don't use any like tracks or anything like that when they play. Like they're literally conjuring up all those sounds as they do it, and that was so cool. It's like a band to that scale that still properly does that. But yeah, man, they're the best. Their team's really great. They're really good people. Yeah, so I'm excited to hang with them again.
Do you feel okay with the ambition of thinking that maybe next year you could be on the one of the main stages?
Oh yeah, we're definitely okay with it.
Yeah,
we definitely want to. Yeah, we have very big ambitions for ourselves. So
yeah, that's good. Yeah. I can see it. I can see it happening. We've seen it. Fontaines were you would traditionally play one of the sort of medium stages and stuff, and now it's like, well, obviously that Romance album was on top of everyone's list of best of the year and stuff. So I have high hopes for Ben Steller.
Keep making the tunes, see what happens.
I mean, it's been a year and a bit since you released your debut album. Can we talk about a follow-up? Are you planning? Have you recorded anything? Is there an idea?
So, we just released a song a couple days ago. And yeah, we're going to release a couple more this summer. We recorded those with our friend Aaron, who plays in the band Mama, who played here yesterday.
Yeah?
Very, very talented, but I don't know if someone wants to talk about.
We're just, we're writing a lot right now. Those songs are standalone from something greater, but we've been working on, our next record pretty intensely over the last almost year. And so, we're getting into the studio in October, and the baby is on the way.
Would you be recording in the US or?
We're not sure yet.
We haven't gotten there. Probably. Budget-wise, probably.
Because if budget was not an issue,
we do it on Mars.
Cultivate some potatoes.
No, I think we really want to do it in the U.S. I feel like a lot of the themes, or at least some of the themes, are kind of rooted in like America, sort of. So like it doesn't. I think we want to do it over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about who do you find interesting in the way in producers who you think would make a good fit for the kind of sound you'd like to record on your next album?
Hard.
I guess I don't know. I don't know if we.
I don't know. Yeah. Go ahead.
It's like we're dating around.
Yeah, we're dating.
We're dating around right now.
Nothing serious.
We're on Hinge.
Yeah.
Nothing serious. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot. I think we're like just really open to meeting a ton of different types of producers, like not just thinking about rock producers. And I don't know. It's very exciting to like think about what our like world can sound like. And I think like kind of going and trying to imagine the next batch of songs in like in a new light. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for playing twice at the festival. What time is the gig? Did you say it?
8:45.
8:45. Ben Steller are going to be playing in the Levi's Warehouse, the Levi's Club. It's called
501 Club.
The 501 Club. I get confused with all the names, all the little activations. The 501 Club. Ben Steller, it's been such a pleasure.
Thank you, man.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
So much.
And I hope to see you again next year as well, on a bigger stage, and one after that, etc., etc.
Let's do it.
Right on.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Estás escuchando Radio Primavera Sound, proudly presented by Cupra.